the Buccaneers, though. I don't know what the hell happened last night. That was an awful football game. I watched everything up until about the fourth quarter, and I was just like, I'm tired of it. I was getting irritated. Tom looked bad. Mm-hmm. Tampa looked bad. My Buccaneers, I don't know what's going on. We lost 3 players we lost 3 top players, dog, in this game. Mm-hmm. We lost Chris Godwin, who's now, you just told me, done for the year.
Yes, he is.
With the torn ACL and MCL.
Uh-huh.
Son of a biscuit. So we might not see him until, if we're lucky, September. Mm-hmm. If we're lucky. I don't think he's going to make training camp. We'll pray that he does. Knock on wood. Then we lost Mike Evans. I don't know what happened to him. Was it his hamstring?
Yep,
okay, it was hamstring because it looked like a concussion. The way he hit the ground and the way he was out there just shaking his head, it was weird. And then Uncle Lenny went down with a hamstring injury as well. And so now the Buccaneers go out. Second game against the Saints. This is Tom Brady's 4th loss against the Saints in as many games in the regular season. Funny stat. You know the last time Tom Brady was shut out in a game?
I do. 2006.
2006. 255 straight games without a shutout. Do you know who shut him out?
Was it the Saints?
Nope.
Who?
I thought it was. I thought this crazy. No, it was
Jets?
Nick Saban and the Dolphins.
Wow.
That was the last time that Tom Brady was shut out. So obviously the Saints tried to employ some old school Nick Saban stuff to get this man, but they did it. And 9-0 without an actual quarterback or even a team that looked like they do anything. Jimmy, should we be can the Buccaneers, or is it fair or unfair to say that the Buccaneers cannot do this without their big 3 intact?
It is unfair, and just in hearing the question, I think that the Buccaneers and the Cowboys are in a bit of a similar situation because, yes, losing this big 3, and there's something I want to say about Chris Godwin. Yes, losing the big 3 hurt because these are all 3 of them Pro Bowlers, talented, having really good seasons. You want them on the field. They were instrumental in winning the Super Bowl for us Buccaneers fans last year. Us, capital US. Yes,
this is not Jordan Peele's movies.
I've got a shirt and a certificate to prove I'm a Buccaneers fan.
You don't have any of that, actually, sir. But
so
okay.
I'm not that concerned. I don't think your question was concerned or used the word concerned. But yeah. looking at what they have next, you have the Panthers twice over the next 3 weeks and the Jets right in between that. With a combination of Antonio Brown, who they're going to get back, Rob Gronkowski, and now the run game is going to lean on Ronald Jones for however long it takes Leonard Fournette to get healthy. They're good enough to beat those teams along with the players that they have on defense. The number 1 seed, I don't think the Packers are going to let go of that. So you probably aren't going to get the 1 seed, but you're battling Dallas and maybe even the Rams for the 2 seed, and that's okay. They're still in it for that. Now, after the regular season is over and they've beaten the Panthers twice and the Jets, it depends on where the health is of Uncle Lenny and Mike Evans, because we know those hamstring injuries. We see it in the NBA, NFL, college sports. We know that they can linger. We know that you have to be very careful with how you manage those from a medical standpoint.
Yep.
So where those 2 players are at that point is going to determine, I think, what the playoffs are going to look like because of how instrumental they are and how great they are. So that's what I want to say about that. I got something on Chris Godwin, but that's my take on that. I think they'll be okay for now. But we'll see in a month when the playoffs start where they're at.
Yeah, and this loss, I mean, the Saints had their number. Like I said, the 4 times that Tom has played them in the regular season, he's taken an L, but he beat them in the playoffs, which is what matters. Mm-hmm. That's all that matters. You beat them in the playoffs. You may have lost in the regular season. Everybody's like, the playoffs last year, they thought Tampa's going to go down because they lost to them twice. It's no different than when, was it the Miami Heat got swept by the Brooklyn Nets when they had Deron Williams and KG and a full stack staff. Mm-hmm. They got beat 4 times in the regular season, went to the playoffs and swept them. Mm-hmm. It happens. Regular season, a lot of these guys do mail it in. Even on the NFL, you really can't. Tampa Bay is still 10-4, and they have time. So it's not something that we should be truly concerned about in that aspect. But I'm concerned because we're losing people at the wrong time. This is usually when your team gets healthier. You're starting to, you hope your team is getting healthier. People that's been out are starting to come back. We're starting to see all of our top guys fall. And as more of these guys start falling, that's where we're going to start seeing problems. Because, I mean, as much as I like Scotty Miller and who's that, Perryman, who was out last game because of COVID?
Yes.
We're going to talk about that Rona, too, a little bit later. Everybody's going down. So that is where my concern is is will we even be able to field a team that will be good enough to match up, like you mentioned, to in the playoffs with those other guys. Mm-hmm. But Godwin.
Yeah. One thing I don't understand about the Saints is, and I know their defensive front is good with Davenport, with Cam Jordan, but how are they able to generate pressure that consistently every time they play the Bucs when nobody else can? Like, what are they doing?
Sean Payton and his staff, man, they're good.
Which they didn't even have Sean Payton, right? They had Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator, which may have had a lot to do with that, who was calling the plays.
Which is probably why offensively they looked like they did. So, yeah, there you go.
The Taysom Hill show. So, okay, so moving forward then, would you say that what Tampa has to do, because Brady threw 48 times, they ran the ball 21 times, so they have to make that more of a 30-30, 33-33 type split. Do you think that that's the formula moving forward?
Something like that. You want to mix in your runners, because who was that? Ronald Jones came in. I mean, we had 21 carries in this game to his 48 passes. Mm-hmm. You want about 30 to 30. You want about 30-30. You want to leverage both you want to add Keyshawn Vaughn. You may want to add Giovanni Bernard if you can. Mm-hmm. He hadn't played really at all this year. But Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette, especially with Uncle Lenny being hurt, you probably want to run a lot more Ronald.
We shouldn't even be talking about this, what they need to do moving forward, because they can pretty much do whatever they want against the Panthers and the Jets.
Yeah, they're going to win those games. Come on. Yeah. And what I'm thinking is more playoffs. What are they going to like playoffs?
Yeah.
I don't care about these next 3 games, because they may lose one of them. They're in the playoffs regardless. They're going to win their division. I'm not concerned about them losing in the division. It's theirs to lose unless they lose every game going forward and the Saints wins every game going forward. There's no way the Saints takes this spot, because they're really the only team that can do it, and they have the Dolphins, Panthers, and Falcons. So technically, Tampa just win one game and you'll be fine.
Yeah,
that's it. You get to, actually, I think they win the division if they win one game. Mm-hmm. So that's all that matters.
All right. So real quick, here's the thing I'm pissed about. Now, you and I had an argument about this years ago, so I don't know exactly where you're at with it now.
Okay,
but I'm pissed off about Chris Godwin. Not only as a loyal Bucs fan and a Chris Godwin fan, we had 98 catches. I mean, one of the best receivers in the league, along with Mike Evans. But the hit that he took that tore his ACL and his MCL, which upon replay, I knew that's exactly what happened, no matter what they were talking about in the commentary during this game. I still don't understand for the life of me why it is a legal hit for an NFL player, built like an NFL player, to launch himself at that angle in that direction towards that body part of the player. I hate that hit. I think it should be legalized out of the game or legislated out of the game. I don't understand why that's a legal hit. Now, I never played the game, well, at least for a team. I never played the game, so maybe there's some aspects of this hit that I don't know, but I do not understand how that's legal.
He hit him in the thigh, and he flipped up, so it was it's one of those. The size of guys like him, Gronk. This is the reason why Gronk has so many injuries and stuff.
It's happened to Gronk. I've seen it's happened to Gronk. The same thing happened to Gronk.
Is because how else do you expect to take him down? Like seriously, when they're that big and that strong. I've hit guys in high school that were monstrous size guys, big, massive thighs. If you jumped on their shoulders, they would carry you to the end zone with them. So hitting them midsection, they can push a lot. That's like Josh Allen. One of the big problems with hitting him is that you unfortunately have to go low, and the goal is to wrap the legs so they're crippled and they fall, not to really. And some guys, they launch at the thigh because it at least slows them down. And unfortunately, the knee is just that close, and that's just. I don't think you can legislate it out, because at a certain point, where do you tackle somebody? You can't really hit them in the chest area because you can hit your helmet on their helmet, and then that's a helmet-to-helmet face mask hit. It's becoming harder and harder to define the lines for defenders to hit players.
And I thought about that. I said, okay, if I said this to a defender, and they said that exact same thing, how are we supposed to tackle then if we don't have this in our arsenal, being able to take down a ball carrier?
So, big ball carrier, big guys.
A ball carrier bigger than me. Okay. So, all right. So the rule that you can't hit a defenseless receiver, right?
Yes.
That didn't always exist in the game, but it did now because of concussions, guys taking hits that they don't see coming. So with this particular hit, Godwin didn't see it coming. He wouldn't have, because of the angle of his head, because of the angle he was coming at him and where he was positioned, below his sight line, even if he probably was looking in that direction. I know these are bang plays, but is there a way to at least not to legislate hitting a defenseless receiver who can't see you in this way? Is there a way to legislate that out of the game?
Closest thing you could do is say that you have to wrap your arms around him in some way when you do that hit. But at the same time, you're still probably going to hit him between the hips and the knee. and there's still a chance that same injury actually there's a chance that more of an injury happens because you'll be riding the guy down to the ground where you may twist up knees and ankles even more, kind of like horse collaring. That's where you run into a problem of trying to legislate that one. It's not something that's that easy to legislate.
I mean, I think they should take a look at that. I think it's not easy, but it's possible, because if I'm carrying the ball and I see you coming, okay, and you launch yourself at that angle and I don't do anything or do enough about it, that's kind of on me because I saw you. I had options. Maybe I hurdle you, maybe I juke, whatever it is. But if I don't see you coming and you're coming at that angle and you hit me just as I plant, just like what happened with Chris Godwin and like what's happened with Gronk before when he was in New England, there's nothing I can do to defend my knees against that hit.
It isn't. You can high knee. You can just be jumping. Just jump. Throw your legs up. Deion Sanders it. And hope that that's about it. So
I wish, if anybody on the NFL competition committee is listening to the show or watching the clips, please take a look at this rule and do something about it. Because, I mean, you probably are associated with one of the teams, and sooner or later this is going to happen to one of your stars, one of your great players, and it's going to cost you a Super Bowl. So you don't want that to happen. So do something about this. This should not be in your game.
This is Jimmy speaking to the committee.